Battle of the Brains, presented by Invest 529. Central Virginia's high school academic quiz show. Today's match features Douglas S. Freeman High School versus Oscar Smith High School. Let's play.
Hello and welcome to Battle of the Brains, Central Virginia's longest running high school academic quiz show. I'm Cheryl Miller. We're now in the semifinal round of this year's competition as our teams vie for a share of $20,000 in scholarship money, provided courtesy of Invest 529 and the E.W. Scripps Foundation. As one of the 4 teams remaining in this season's competition, each school competing today is guaranteed at least $2,500 in scholarship money. Our competition welcomes teams from schools all across the Commonwealth of Virginia. The academic athletes joining us today, the Mavericks of Douglas Freeman High School, coached by Orion Altman and Jason Averill. Freeman High School is part of Henrico County's public school system. This school offers a specialty center for leadership, government, and global economics. Also with us today, the Tigers of Oscar Smith High School, coached by Andrea White. Oscar Smith High School is a public school in Chesapeake with a student enrollment of about 2,300. It's an international baccalaureate program, World School. It's great to have all of these students back with us today. Our match will consist of 3 toss-up rounds and a category round. Players will buzz in and wait for me to call on them before giving their answer. Interruptions of questions are allowed, but an incorrect answer will result in a point deduction. There's no deduction for an incorrect answer to a completed question. All right, students, congratulations once again to making it to the semifinals. Let's begin the first toss-up round. How high is the rim on a standard basketball goal? Vedant.
10 feet.
Correct. What type of energy is defined as the energy of an object due to its motion? John.
Kinetic energy.
Correct. Name both of the 7 deadly sins in Christianity that start with the letter G. Amber.
Gluttony and greed.
Correct. The others are pride, wrath, envy, sloth, and lust. Jackson Pollock is considered the epitome of this genre of painting. Amber.
Pointillism.
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Oscar Smith. Is the epitome of this genre of painting and is recognized as the theoretician of this movement. Name the 2-word art movement. Riley.
Abstract expressionism.
That is correct. The Gateway Arch is located in which U.S. city? Hannah.
St. Louis.
Correct. The character Peter Parker works as a freelance. Jack.
Photographer.
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Oscar Smith. Works as a freelance photographer for what fictional newspaper? Kyle.
The Daily Bugle.
That is correct. Of the visible light in the electromagnetic spectrum, which color has the highest frequency? John.
Purple.
Judges?
No.
Vedant.
Violet.
Violet is correct. What 4-word term was added to the United States paper currency in 1957? Riley.
In God We Trust.
Correct. The plot of this play is based on Tom's recollections of his mother Amanda and his sister Laura, who spends most of her time playing with her glass collection. Amber.
The Glass Menagerie.
Correct, by Tennessee Williams. Often associated with Winnie the Pooh, what is the only food? John.
Honey.
That is correct, the only food that does not spoil. This man, who almost always acted in his own plays, died in 1673, hours after playing the lead in his The Imaginary Invalid. Name this French comedic playwright, the author of Tartuffe and the Misanthrope.
Jacques-Louis David.
That is incorrect. Oscar Smith? Riley?
Rimbaud.
That would be Moliere. All right, teams, watch and listen carefully for a video question from the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch. You must wait until the question is asked completely before buzzing in. Early buzzers will not be allowed to answer.
Ella Marhia Lonnie Yelich O'Connor has been candid about having a neurological condition called synesthesia that she says is the driving force behind her music. What singer's hits include Royals and Tennis Court?
Jack.
Lord.
That is correct. One of these title characters never recovers from scarlet fever. The other 3 find happiness in marriage. One to Mr. Brooke, one to Professor Bear, and another to Laurie. Give the collective title for the March Sisters in a novel by Louisa May Alcott. Amber.
Little Women.
Correct. What is the antonym of antonym? Amber.
Synonym.
Correct. Spell antonym. Riley.
A-N-T-O-N-Y-M.
That is correct. And you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may find yourself living in another part of the world, are the first lines of Once in a Lifetime. Kyle.
The Talking Heads.
That is correct, fronted by David Byrne. The term raptor is used to describe birds of what type? Amber.
Birds of prey.
Correct, like eagles, hawks, and owls. Name the author of what we call fairy tales, including the Snow Queen. Amber.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Correct. You may need your pencil and paper for this one. If the diagonals of a rhombus measure 5 and 10, what is the area of the rhombus? And that would be 25. Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, who coined their names, split them into 10 groups, including the arachnids and the crustaceans. George.
Is it insects?
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Oscar Smith. Name this group of over 1 million animal species that all lack spinal columns. Riley.
Invertebrates?
Invertebrates is correct. And that buzzer means the end of our first toss-up round. A good job by our teams, but we've got a lot more questions to go. Up next, we'll introduce you to today's players, and then they'll take on the category round when Battle of the Brains continues.
Miss a week of Battle of the Brains? Want to catch up on the full season of play? Watch full episodes on our YouTube channel.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
And here are the scores following the first toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains in our semifinal match. Our team from Douglas Freeman High School with 60 points. Our team from Oscar Smith High School with 90 points. And we'll get back to our match just ahead. But first, we want to tell you a little bit about today's semifinal match players. Let's meet our team from Douglas Freeman High School. They are the Mavericks. First up is George Thrower, who is a freshman, fences at the Richmond Fencing Club, and ranks 30 in Brawl Stars. Our next player is Jack Harris, who is a junior. Interests include theater arts and film, performed at numerous high school productions, including this year's production of Chicago. Our team captain is John Thrower, who is a sophomore, a member of Freeman's new robotics team, is a Cetera speedrunner in his free time, and is brother to our player, George. And wrapping up our team is Amber Park, who is a junior, an active participant in community service initiatives through local church, plans to study English or communications in college, and has over 500 hours in Elden Ring, which is a role-playing game. That is our team from Douglas Freeman High School. Now let's meet our team from Oscar Smith High School. They are the Tigers. First up is Hannah Sprague, who is a senior, says she's passionate about artificial intelligence, also mathematics, enjoys participating in cross-country and listening to Soviet classical music. Our team captain is Riley Cornelise, who is a senior, plans to major in political science or international relations. In free time, enjoys oil painting, debate, and volleyball. Next up is Vedant Dixit, who is a senior and likes to play soccer, tennis, and table tennis, enjoys studying science and also running. And wrapping up our team from Oscar Smith High School is Kyle Van Slyke, who is a junior, wants to study physics in college, likes animals, reading, and art. And that is our team from Oscar Smith High School. And congratulations again to both of our teams for making it to the semifinal round. One of these teams will go on to play in the championship match. Now, to our category round. Each team will select one 10-question category from today's choices. If a team gets all of its questions correct in the allotted time, they will receive a 20-point bonus. All right, teams, here are today's categories from which you may choose. They are musical numbers, ends in X, and Muppet Sesame Street characters. And we do note that in this round, only the captains can officially answer for the team, though they may confer with their teammates to try to come up with the correct answer. By the rules, the high score team will get first choice of category. That is our team from Oscar Smith High School. So Riley, talk it over with your teammates. Let me know what category you'd like to play.
Ends in X, please.
All right, identify these words ending with the letter X. The first is a tool for chopping wood.
X.
Correct. A small carnivore.
Ooh. Fox. Fox. Yeah.
Fox or lynx would be acceptable. The lines of force of an electric or magnetic field.
Flux.
Flux is correct. A rectangular array in mathematics.
Matrix.
Matrix is correct. A whirlpool or eddy.
Vortex.
Vortex is correct. Port city in southwest France known for wine.
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux is correct. Brand of tissue.
Kleenex.
Correct. Famous rock guitar player.
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
Correct. Asks a famous riddle.
Sphinx. Yeah.
Correct. And finally, a Dr. Seuss character who wanted to protect the trees.
Lorax.
That is correct. And a sweep of the category, a 20-point bonus for our team from Oscar Smith High School. All right, Freeman, it will either be our category of musical numbers or Muppet and Sesame Street characters. John, talk it over with your teammates.
Can I get Sesame Street and Muppets?
Yes, you may. I'll give you the clues. You name the character. The first is an amphibian. It's not easy being green.
Kermit.
Kermit is correct. Drummer for Electric Mayhem.
Animals.
Animals, correct. Lives in a trash can.
Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar.
Correct. Ernie's roommate.
Bert.
Correct. Name of Elmo's goldfish.
Goldie.
Goldie.
That would be Dorothy. Bunsen Honeydew's assistant.
Beaker.
Beaker.
Beaker is correct. Big fan of Keebler products.
Is it Chef?
It's the
I think it's Chef.
it's the guy who likes cookies.
Cookie Monster?
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster is correct. Blue and has a superhero alter ego.
Gonzo. No, not Gonzo. It's Grover.
Grover.
Grover is correct. Fairy in training.
Abby.
Abby.
Abby Cadabby, yes. And mathematical vampire.
Count Von Count.
Count Von Count.
That is correct. Good job. I must have watched Sesame Street a time or two. Good job with the category round for our teams. Up next, we'll have another toss-up round here on Battle of the Brains.
Battle of the Brains is always available. Find full episodes on YouTube and follow Battle of the Brains on social media.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
And here are the scores following the category round here on Battle of the Brains. Our team from Douglas Freeman High School with 105 points. Our team from Oscar Smith High School with 160 points. And now it's back to Battle of the Brains and another toss-up round. And a reminder for our teams before we get underway that you do lose points if you interrupt a question with an incorrect answer. The other team then has the chance to answer. Of course, there's no conferring in the toss-up rounds. Here we go. The 1942 classic movie Casablanca, starring Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bergman, takes place in what North African city? Riley.
I'm answered.
Time is up. Douglas Freeman? John?
Fez.
It's actually in Morocco. From 751 to 768, he was the first Carolingian king of the Franks. John?
Charles Montel.
That is incorrect. No. What Frankish king named for his physical attributes? Vedant.
Charlemagne? Charlemagne?
That is incorrect. Was the son of Charles Martel and the father of Charlemagne. It was Pepin III. What kite-flying American colonial is credited with the following quote? George?
Benjamin Franklin?
That is correct. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. Especially as found in Scandinavia, what is the geologic name for Riley?
Fjords.
Fjord is correct, for a formation consisting of an inlet or arm of the sea bordered by a steep cliff. If extended east and west beyond the Tigris and Euphrates to encompass most of what is now Iraq, name this ancient land. Amber.
Mesopotamia?
Correct, land between two rivers. To what subphylum of arthropods do soft-shell crabs belong? Hannah.
Crustaceans?
That is correct. What is the name for the literary device or term that gives human characteristics? Amber.
Personification?
Correct, to inanimate objects or animals. A sarcophagus is a stone coffin associated with ancient civilizations. Spell sarcophagus. Amber.
S-A-R-C-O-P-H-A-G-U-S?
That is correct. Harun al-Rashid, Caliph of Baghdad, is one of the various heroes featured in what collection of tales? Riley.
The Arabian Nights.
That is correct, or the 1001 Nights. You may need your pencil and paper for this one. What is the natural log of E cubed? Vedant.
30.
Correct. All right, teams, watch and listen carefully for another question from the Battle of the Brains Brainy Bunch. Wait until the question is asked completely before buzzing in. Early buzzers will not be allowed to answer.
Abel Tesfaye is a four-time Grammy-winning Canadian singer-songwriter. His most recent album is entitled Hurry Up Tomorrow and released under what stage name?
Riley.
Weekend.
That is correct. What was West Point, Virginia native and famous Marine Lieutenant General Lewis B. Puller's nickname? John.
Chesty.
That is correct. In the popular young adult novels and movie, what is the first rule in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? Riley.
Don't talk about the sisterhood of the traveling pants.
That's a good one, but no, that's not the first rule. Douglas Freeman. Amber?
Always wear your pants.
It's actually don't wash the pants. In 2018, what wealthy Arab country became the last country to allow women to drive automobiles? John?
Saudi Arabia.
Correct. Recently in the news, what Danish-owned island is host to the pool? George?
Greenland.
That is correct. Actor Forrest Whitaker earned an Oscar for his portrayal of what Ugandan dictator? John?
Idi Amin.
That is correct, in The Last King of Scotland. Born in the Spanish Kingdom of Castile in 1451, she married King Ferdinand of Aragon. Riley?
Isabella.
That is correct. Who is the only vice president and president of the United States to, John?
Ford.
Correct, who never have been elected to either position in which they served? Gerald Ford. In 1971, General Mills introduced what cereal that featured a vampire on the box? John?
Count Chocula.
Correct. And that buzzer means one more toss-up round just ahead, and we'll double the point value. Stay tuned to see which team is today's winner here on Battle of the Brains, and will go on to compete in the championship game next week.
Love Battle of the Brains? Ready for your high school team to play next season? Go to battleofthebrains.net to learn more.
Welcome back to Battle of the Brains.
Here are the scores as we head into the final round of the semifinal match. Today's winner moving on to the championship game. Our team from Douglas Freeman High School with 195 points. Our team from Oscar Smith High School with 220 points. And in this final toss-up round, the point score for a correct answer is doubled, and so is the penalty for an incorrect answer given before I finish reading the question. There's no deduction for an incorrect answer to a completed question. All right, good luck, teams. This is our final toss-up round. The Khyber Pass is located along... John?
Afghanistan, Pakistan.
That is correct, separating what two Asian nations? What are the names of the two leagues in Major League Baseball? John?
American League and National League.
Correct. For which basketball team was Michael Jordan playing? John?
Hornets. No, wait, no.
That is incorrect. Was he playing when he won 6 NBA titles? Vedant?
Bulls.
The Chicago Bulls is correct. One of the most iconic Saturday Night Live sketches involves Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken needing...
Blue Oyster Cult.
That is correct. Needing more cowbell in Don't Fear the Reaper, the band that actually first released the song in 1976, was the question. The answer is Blue Oyster Cult. Rowdy sports fans are said to be rambunctious. Spell rambunctious. Riley.
R-A-M-B-U-N-C-T-I-O-U-S.
That is correct. Chocolate chip cookies are by far the most popular type of cookie in the U.S. and the world. What is the most popular and best-selling variety of Girl Scout cookie? Amber.
Thin Mints?
Thin Mints is correct. Developed in the 14th century at the outset of the Renaissance, the first sonnets were written in what vernacular language? George.
Italian.
Italian is correct. Name the acid with chemical formula CH3COOH. Vedant.
Acetic acid.
That is correct. Provides the taste of vinegar. The Battle of the Five Armies came about when he sought to recover... George.
It's Napoleonic Wars.
That is incorrect. When he sought to recover his grandfather Thror's kingdom from the dragon Smaug. Name this dwarf leader from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. Riley.
Thorin Oakenshield.
That is correct. The title translates to Let Us Rejoice. Name this two-word Hebrew folk song that is traditionally sung at Jewish celebrations and weddings. Riley.
Mazel tov.
That is incorrect. Freeman? And the song would be Hava Nagila. This term is from Greek meaning chief father. Name this word for the male head of a family or clan. George.
Patriarch.
Correct. The 1832 death of General Jean-Maximilien Lamarck sparked an uprising. George.
July Revolution.
That is incorrect. I'll finish for Oscar Smith. Sparked an uprising that became an essential plot point of this book. During it, the main character saves both his daughter's lover, Marius, and his implacable enemy, Inspector Javert. Name this novel by Victor Hugo. Riley.
Les Miserables.
That is correct. Tony Gwynn almost hit 400 in the strike-shortened season of 1994. Who was the last Major League Baseball player to hit 400? Amber.
Babe Ruth.
That is incorrect. Oscar Smith. Riley?
Willie Mays.
It was Ted Williams in 1941. What sport is associated with the Ryder Cup? John?
Golf.
Correct, named after Samuel Ryder, who donated it. In the Disney film The Lion King, the character Timon is what type of animal? Amber?
Meerkat.
Correct. Best choreography, best scenic design, and best original score are among the categories for which annual award?
Tonys.
The Tonys is correct. Who was the last British emperor of India? Riley?
Victoria.
That is incorrect. Freeman? John?
George VI.
That is correct. Grandfather to the current King Charles III. And that buzzer is the end of our game. While our judges double check the final score, here's a reminder of how to stay connected with us here at Battle of the Brains.
Stay up to date on Battle of the Brains. Follow along as your favorite teams advance this season. Visit battleofthebrains.net to learn more and follow the show on social at Battle of the Brains. Join us next week on Battle of the Brains as we welcome students from Ocean Lakes High School playing against Douglas S. Freeman High School.
Now here's the final score for today's semifinal game, determining which team will go on to the championship match next week and a chance to win a $10,000 scholarship for their school. And ending the match with a final score of 320 points, our team from Oscar Smith High School. Congratulations to Kyle, Vedant, Riley, and Hannah for playing so well this season. And you did a great job all season long and have earned a $2,500 scholarship for your school. Our winning team and going on to compete with this season's championship is our team from Douglas Freeman High School. The Mavericks ended with a final score of 335 points, and you have earned a scholarship of at least $5,000 and will double that if you win the championship game next week against the team from Ocean Lakes High School in Virginia Beach. Congratulations and good luck. I'm Cheryl Miller. Thank you for watching and playing along here on Battle of the Brains. Join us next week for this season's championship match here on Battle of the Brains. Great match, teams.
Game over. Thank you for watching Battle of the Brains. Presented by Invest 529. Goodbye.